Hello again and welcome to Eye on Opticom, a podcast from Global Traffic Technologies that brings you insightful conversations from around the public safety, transit, and law enforcement industries. GTT recently published a white paper that describes how Internet of Things-based transportation, transit, and public safety technology solutions can transform cities by enhancing safety, delivering efficiencies, and reducing harmful pollutants. In the paper, GTT proposes 6 calls to action designed to improve road infrastructure and transit systems while prioritizing safety, health, and equity. Collectively, these calls to action provide a new vision for the smart city of the future and the infrastructure needed to build them today. This is the 3rd episode of a special 6-part podcast series that explores each of those calls to action in greater detail. Today's episode will focus on the 2nd call to action, in which GTT echoes President Biden's goal of reducing traffic accidents and eliminating traffic deaths entirely by advancing Vision Zero in communities nationwide. To address this subject, we welcome Terry Griffith, the Senior Vice President of Sales at GTT, to the podcast. Terry, thanks for taking some time to join us today.
Thanks, Bill. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Why do traffic deaths remain a persistent issue in this country?
Bill, there are several components to the problem that are universal. The World Health Organization published a study a while back in which it documented approximately 1.3 million people die each year in traffic crashes. That fact alone is devastating on a lot of levels. In addition to the toll that takes on families and communities, the cost to a country is staggering. The WHO estimates that the fatality rate can cost as much as 3% of a country's GDP, for instance. And when you consider what can be done with an additional 3% of GDP in a country, such as investments in infrastructure, health and welfare, poverty relief, and other critical needs, this one statistic illustrates the need for improvement in our roadways. That same study, unfortunately, also highlights the fact that more than half of all road traffic deaths involve vulnerable road users, such as pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorcyclists. So sadly, traffic accidents are the leading cause of death for children and young adults ages 5 to 29. Getting back to the fundamental question you asked about, we're seeing more vehicles on roads. We're seeing excessive speed, and unfortunately, distracted driving is becoming an even more prevalent problem. The details around the impact that COVID has had on these issues might skew a few of those things, but we also believe that the speeds have increased precisely because there are fewer vehicles on the road. If you think that COVID had impacted travel habits and fewer people on the roads, there was more space. People did speed more frequently. And when you combine that with the distracted driving issue, it's not a big mystery as to why those traffic deaths remain a problem for this country and the world, frankly.
And what is it about intersections specifically that makes them especially problematic?
So there are a few issues here. Driver behavior, vehicles and other users converging on a confined area, and the common factor noted above, which is distracted driving. So as growth occurs and development increases, intersections can become more complex with multiple movements going on at a given time. The flip side of that coin is also that despite the growth and development in the area, existing intersections remain the same and become more congested, and driver behavior becomes more of an issue. So for instance, the driver may be in a hurry, and as he's making a turn or accelerating to beat a red light, he may look for cars that he might impact or might be in his way, but he's not paying attention to bicyclists or pedestrians who may be in the right of way because they have that light and that movement that they're able to go and do, and then we have a major conflict and a major problem at the intersection.
How can priority control play a part in helping the U.S. achieve Vision Zero?
Opticom was developed to clear intersections by requesting green lights as an emergency vehicle approaches. It enables transit vehicles also to stay on schedule or get back on schedule more effectively, which improves satisfaction levels with riders. So if we are really impacting the driver behavior, given a driver what he expects to see a green light and he simply moves according to the light that he has, or transit becomes more of a viable, satisfactory mode of transportation, we're actually having a multiple effect on the situation where priority control is actually having a major benefit to the roadways. So from a driver's point of view, traffic flows as they expect. They simply drive as normal when they see a red or green light. Signal preemption is a low-cost and effective solution that can be installed easily and can reduce crash rates for emergency vehicles by as much as 70%. So these systems collect valuable data as well for a variety of stakeholders in a city, such as traffic engineers and transit and emergency authorities. The data can be used to enhance public safety in a variety of ways, including locating bus stops in safe locations along a busy thoroughfare and rerouting emergency vehicles to more efficient routes. So that's how we envision and see the priority control really having a positive effect on achieving the Vision Zero program.
Why is it important to shift the responsibility for road safety from individual users to a model of shared responsibility between traffic system designers and road users?
Well, since traffic deaths are a pervasive and systemic issue that's not caused by one single reason, the effective use of technology can help mitigate some of the risks that can exist on the road today. By incorporating technologies such as Opticom into the fabric of the transportation system, we can significantly improve the safety of communities by decreasing crash rates and reducing emergency vehicle response times, which improves the level of service for that agency.
You were a longtime employee of 3M when Preemption technology was in its nascent stages. How has that technology developed over the years?
So the technology has developed significantly over the years, which has been really impressive when you consider the new offerings and platforms that have been created by GTT. We've also focused on our business models in a much different way that provide greater opportunity to partner with other great companies and firms who are focused on customers' needs and innovative solutions. So these partnerships result in much more valuable and impactful solutions for our customers and communities. And we're focused on solving critical problems with viable and robust solutions for the long run, which is the foundation for our market leading position for over the past 50 years.
Well, Terry, we know you have a busy day ahead of you, so we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate the time.
That was Terry Griffith, GTT Senior VP of Sales, discussing the company's role in supporting President Biden's new Safe Streets for All program to fund state and local Vision Zero plans. Thanks for listening to today's episode. To read the full white paper or listen to the other installments of this podcast series, please visit gtt.com. Until next time, I'm Bill Hupp, and this has been Eye on Opticom.